Against my better judgment, I am doing Bookmas. Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Crystal of Crystal's Tales, and I have a very important announcement, very exciting announcement to make. I am officially out of my book slump, and I kind of a little bit got back into another book slump, but it was mainly because I was going on vacation, so I knew I wasn't gonna read that much. So yeah, let's get to the books. I took notes on a majority of them. I really did. I read 11 books, and I'm so proud of myself because it was really hard getting out of that slump. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so here are the physical books that I have. Don't do that. Should I do a little thumbnail? I feel like my thumbnails all look like that. Okay, let's get to the books that I read. So, in the month of September, I read 3 books. So, the first book that I read in September, The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. I rated The Love Hypothesis 4 stars. This is my second Ali Hazelwood, my first Ali Hazelwood, like, contemporary romance. And I didn't write notes on this one, and I read this September 6th through 9th. Hello? Oh my god, he matches! Look, Mama, look. He matches my jacket. Oh, I'm so sorry. He matches my jacket. Look, we match, Momo. Oh, I forgot. My drink of the video is this Alani Winter Wonderland. I don't like it. It's not bad, but it's not witch's brew. And let me tell you, I have 1 witch's brew left. This is not important at all. I'm talking about The Love Hypothesis. I cannot remember for the life of me what I thought. I do know that I loved it. I loved it. I thought it was cute. There were like things that bothered me about it. I don't remember. It's making me mad that I cannot remember. I'm hoping, so I thought this was good, obviously. I liked Bride a little bit more. But like I like paranormal fantasy-esque books over like just plain romance, as we've seen, because I have been struggling with contemporary romance for some time, and I gravitate towards why am I just I gravitate towards like fantasy or paranormal books. So I'm hoping that, yes, I like this, but I feel like I haven't found my Ali Hazelwood book. You know how everyone has like their Emily Henry book, their Abby Jimenez book, their Ali Hazelwood book. I don't think I found mine yet, and I'm hoping that I do. So this is the first book I read to get out of my slump. I don't know what inspired me to read again, but I think I just told myself, just pick up another book that you've been wanting to read. I've been wanting to read this for quite some time now. I've been wanting to read like a cute romance that I genuinely think that I would like, and I did enjoy it. But it did take me out of my slump, and I'm so happy about that. I'm so happy to be reading again. The next book I wrote, what? I didn't write a book. The next book I read was Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. What is wrong with me? And I gave it 4 stars. It felt very much like a fairy tale. Like, I can see what everyone is saying, how it genuinely feels like a fairy tale, like they're reading a fairy tale. And I enjoyed this way more than I enjoyed Caraval. I really thought their interpretation of vampires was really interesting. I know it's not like a huge part of the book. I put Jax has me confused with the angry emoji with the steam coming out of the nose and the middle finger emoji. And there were so many twists and turns, and I was definitely never correct with my guesses. And I kept getting wronger. I know that's not a word. Is it a word? It doesn't have a squiggly under it. Actually, I don't know. I enjoyed it. I am hoping to get into the rest of the trilogy probably next year. I don't think I have any time to read it this year, but I did like it enough that I do want to read it again. And yeah, and Spectacular just came out, so yeah. I know I don't have much to say. It's just because it's been so long. Yeah, I'm happy that I finally got through Caraval so that I could get to Once Upon a Broken Heart. I'm very curious to see what happens next. The next book that I read is My Roommate is a Vampire, and I gave it 3.75 stars. And I am honestly really sad that that was my rating because it started off so well and then it kind of went downhill from there. So let's get into my thoughts, shall we? My initial thoughts were that I had seen a few reviews that this was just okay, but I am loving it so far. It has one of my favorite tropes, someone from a different era / planet trying to make it in present day. I don't actually know what that trope is called. I don't even know if it's considered a trope, but it is one of my favorite things in stories, like Phil of the Future. Think of it like that. I eat that stuff up. I'm enjoying the dynamic between FJF and Cassie. If I remember correctly, his name is Frederick. I'm also really loving the mixed media, so it included text messages, emails, journal entries, notes, and letters scattered throughout the book. I'm not sure if Kindle formatting doesn't show it. But I'd like to see if the physical book has special formatting to show it, because it kind of showed the different forms of media, but it wasn't like super obvious. I want to show you Bink so bad, but I know she's gonna get mad if I pick her up. I'm doing it anyways because she's about to leave. Say hello, my beautiful princess. My beautiful princess. Oh, you're so pretty. You're so pretty, my bean. You're so pretty. She's getting mad. Of course you're getting mad because you're such a pretty princess, aren't you, Mr. Bean? I don't know when it happened, but maybe the last 100 or so pages, I kinda fell off, and the book kinda lost me. There is a scene, and it just felt very anticlimactic, and I guess this is a rom-com, so it wasn't a huge plot point, but it just felt kind of unnecessary, and it didn't really do anything for me in terms of driving the story forward. I understand it set up some vampire culture and tied up like this mystery that we were getting from the beginning and served as a conflict, but it felt very meh. And the resolution, I genuinely was not convinced that it was resolved until I saw that I only had 20 pages left. So I really thought there was going to be like some gotcha moment and they were going to be like, just kidding, we're not done here. But we were. And I'm sad because I started out loving this book and I definitely thought it would end in like the 4.5 to 4.75 range. But the last 100 or so pages it fell kind of flat for me. And then I wrote, what that way to describe when the couple gets together and then it's boring, lol. You know how like sometimes the chase is more exciting than the actual like relationship, like in books and movies and, you know, just stories in general, like when the couple gets together and it just goes downhill from there. That's what I almost said my babysitter's vampire. Not my babysitter's vampire. I love my babysitter's vampire. Bebe. Yeah. That's how I felt. Now we're gonna go to our October reads, and I read 8 books. Yeah. Here's another one I didn't write any notes for. I hate myself. I enjoy sabotaging myself. This first book that I read in October was Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. And this is my first book by Leigh Bardugo. Look at the Barnes & Noble copy. I'm sorry, this thing is gorgeous. I love this version of the book. It's so pretty. I enjoyed this book. I gave it 4 stars. I, again, didn't write anything, so I'm just going off the top of my head. I loved the dark academia aspect. I loved the mystery of it all. It was intriguing. It kept my interest whenever I was reading it. It felt like time was going by a lot faster. Like, I'd be like 100 pages. That was weird. I'd get through like 100 pages and I'd be like, oh, like I didn't even know that happened, you know? So it was just, what's the word? It was fast paced. It was actually spooky to me. I don't know if, I know I scare easily. I hate like horror. Can I not get distracted for 5 seconds? Is that too much to ask? I don't like horror. I cannot watch scary movies. I can't even watch a scary trailer. Like, I don't like to be by myself. I'm a little scaredy cat. And there were parts of this book where I was reading and I would get genuinely scared. Also, I will say though, there is one scene in this that felt very unnecessary. It gave me the ick. Basically, it was like, what was the point? I guess you could argue that it sets up Alex's relationship with the Greys, but I just felt like it was so unnecessary. If you know, you know. I'm not going to spoil it. Check your trigger warnings. It just felt very unnecessary. And I felt disgusting after reading it, to be honest. Not the book, but like that scene in general. It just felt unnecessary. I'm really excited to read Hellbent. I don't have the urge to read it yet, which is weird. Because it does end on a bit of a cliffhanger. But I just don't feel the urge to pick it up yet. I do want to eventually finish it this year. I feel like I could potentially read it in December, but yes, I hope I said some stuff. You know what I realized? I'm not saying what the books are about. Well, I can see why my wrap-ups don't do so. The next book that I read is, ooh, this was my favorite book of September, October. Everything that I read, this was my favorite book. I have not been able to stop thinking about it. I literally think about it like every day. Every time I pick up another book, I'm like, oh, I remember that book. Yeah, I love this book. And it is 11 Other Conspiracies by Mallory Marlowe. Loved it. I gave this 4.5 stars. I ate this book up. I love the pacing. The overall concept of the book has been so interesting. It was so interesting to me. Basically, it follows Hallie. I'm gonna assume it's pronounced Hallie because I think they made a comment about how her name is pronounced. Not like telling you exactly how it's pronounced, but how everyone pronounces it like a certain way. Anyways, it's about Hallie and Hayden. Hallie is a producer. Is that what she does? Anyways, Hayden is a podcaster man. He hosts a podcast about different conspiracy theories like Bigfoot. I was like, what? Basically is dating this guy and does he dump her? They break up, whatever, and they were supposed to do a show together. He was supposed to be in it. She was supposed to be producing it, I believe. And then they break up and he takes off with that idea. And so she's like out of luck. She needs a story. So she goes to a bar and she sees this guy. Oh wait, I think I'm getting my story wrong. She is on the internet and she starts doom scrolling, I believe. No. Hold on. She's watching TV. What is wrong with me? She's watching TV and she sees this man's because he does like this TV special. And she's just so like intrigued by him even though she doesn't believe anything that he's talking about. And so she looks him up and she just starts like watching every single one of his videos listening to all of his podcasts, sorry. And then she's like, I feel like this guy would be amazing like on my show. So she wants to do a show with him and it's basically just like the story of how they create this show together. And anyways, I will say though, this is something that bothered me so much, but Hallie kept thinking something along the lines of he's too good looking to be interested in like aliens or Bigfoot, etc. And I feel like that is such a backhanded compliment. I hate hearing people say things like this. I just like, maybe it made sense once in the beginning, but to continuously bring it up just really bothered me. And I I don't know, I hate it. It reminds me of people thinking the same things about gamers or people who watch anime. Like, just let people have hobbies. It doesn't hurt you. Uh, it doesn't matter what they look like. And this is probably the biggest thing that bothered me about the book, like, to be quite honest. Other than that, I really enjoyed myself. I love this book, and I definitely want to reread this. There is a second book coming out, but I think it's about a different couple. I did not read the, like, the bonus, not bonus, the, like, preview chapter, because I don't like doing that. I like going into it pretty much blind. I really enjoyed this book. I definitely see myself rereading this. It's, like, short and sweet. And the cover is so cute. Honestly, the cover is what, like, pulled me in the first place. But I love the concept. I love the couple. Hayden is such a cute heart. Why do I always say that? Yeah. The next book I read is A Grim Reaper's Guide to Catching a Killer by Maxi Dara. And I gave this book 4 stars. Oh, wow. I actually wrote a little, like, what this book is about. Who am I? So I said, Kathy is a collection agent for Scythe, a company that transports souls to be processed before they become ghosts. However, when Kathy goes to her latest case, there's a problem. He's missing. This is not normal, and no soul has gone missing since Scythe improved their business model. So Kathy's boss demands she find him and get him to processing. Once she tracks him down, he insists he was murdered, and Kathy must now catch his killer before it's too late. And honestly, I did not expect the depth of the topics this book would get into. And I honestly thought it was just going to be a fun little mystery, fun little cozy mystery, and I could move on with my life. But it actually was a lot deeper than I expected. And it's not the topics of death that you would expect from a book about a Grim Reaper. No, that's what I read. No. This book included topics of realizing self-worth, allowing yourself to be loved, accepting help from others, and so much more. It was a found family that had so much heart and were truly there for each other no matter what. And the relationship between Kathy and Connor was heartwarming. Watching their development through to the end brought me to tears. Seeing Kathy allowing herself to realize and accept change, even at the age of 42, was a beautiful storyline to follow. It felt like a midlife coming-of-age story for her, and I feel like that's basically how I would describe this book. It feels like a midlife coming-of-age story. Now, this book wasn't perfect, I'll admit. The motivation for the antagonist fell flat for me. Like, I understand why they did what they did, but I also, like, what's in it for them? You know? And I also feel like Kathy's issue with herself was repeated way too much throughout the book. And at some point, I feel like you have to trust that your readers understand what her internal conflict is and can retain that information without having to repeat it every time she encounters it. I don't know. It wasn't a big deal, but I don't know if that makes sense. It's like every time I drink a soda and I'm like, I'm not supposed to be drinking this. And then I do it. And then 5 pages later, I see another soda and I drink the soda and I'm like, I'm not supposed to be drinking this. And I feel like at some point you have to trust that your readers are going to retain that information, that you are not supposed to be drinking soda. Like, you don't have to be reminded every time you go pick up a soda. Sorry, that's not important. Anyways, overall, I had a really fun time. I did eventually guess who the killer was, kind of. At least who was behind what the mysterious thing happening was. And I put the name, I don't know why I did that. And that someone who we're made to believe is the killer's actual motivation, goal, intent, is that he is trying to stop the actual killer. But it wasn't until later on in the story that I figured that out. And I would definitely recommend this as a October 8th, perhaps, read for anyone looking for a sort of cozy mystery thriller with a lot of heart and unlikely relationships that turn into a family. So I really liked it, and it definitely was different from what I was expecting, and I don't know, it was a nice little surprise because I think I got this on Libby. They were like, open this book now! Basically, read it and return it! Like the day that it released. So it was like a nice little surprise for me. I definitely think it was fun to me that I read it around the time that a certain event is going to happen. And so it kind of made it fun because I was like, oh, I'm so close to the story, like date-wise. And I don't know. If you're gonna read it, I just suggest reading it on October 8th. Aww. Look at a bean. Aww, the bean. Why is it doing this? Am I dumb? Ugh. Okay, I have to go pick up Zach, so I will continue the rest of this video when I get back. Thank you. Hello, welcome back. It's actually like 2.5 hours later, so I have another drink of the video. What happened? My hair is looking a little crazy now. I think I touched on it, but I did add another book because I forgot to put it on my Goodreads. I actually also forgot another book on here, and I'm getting annoyed with myself because why do I keep doing that? I actually read, so after Love and Other Conspiracies, I read Arsenic and Adobo, and I rated it 3 stars. I feel like I talked about this book, so I'm like, maybe I blogged it, but I don't think I did. Anyways, I did end up reading this in October. Last month was Filipino American History Month, so I can't really remember what happened. So you know how I say like there's a good 3 stars and there's a bad 3 stars? This was like an okay 3 stars. I do want to continue with the series, but I wasn't that interested in what was going on. Arsenic and Adobo is about a family that is potentially, allegedly, framed for a crime, and our main character, which I cannot remember her name, it is Lila, I'm pretty sure it's Lila, tries to solve the case on her own. Yeah. So that was that book. And the next book I read is Listen for the Lie by Amy Tintera, and I gave this book 3.75 stars. And I did not write about this one, but like I can remember thoughts about it. This was another like mystery that I was kind of like okay about, and honestly I was hoping that this was gonna be a lot better than it was. It wasn't bad. I was thoroughly entertained. There was like a splash of romance in there that I did not expect. So basically this book is about Lucy, who is found wandering the streets like covered in blood, and she cannot remember anything for the life of her about like what happened. But it turns out her best friend Savvy was killed, and she is like the prime suspect, obviously, because she was the last person that saw her, but she does not remember a single thing, and so she's not charged. She moves away, like she has a new life, she has a new boyfriend, right? Anyways, a podcaster, like a true crime podcaster, brings this story up, and I guess he goes to her hometown, and her grandma's like, hey man, you gotta get over here for my birthday. Anyways, yeah. I did enjoy it. It was a fun, it wasn't fun. It was a good read. I don't know. I feel like I was hoping it would be like something different. Like the way that I feel when I watch Only Murders in the Building. That was my fault. Next, after Listen for the Lie, I decided I was gonna hunker down. Is that a word? Is that what people say? I was gonna sit down and I was gonna do the dang thing. And I did it. I finally finished the tandem read. I finally finished Empire of Storms and Tower of Dawn. Like, I finally did it. I did the dang thing. I sat down and I said, I'm gonna finish this today, and I finished it. Not today, but when I finished it. And I finally did it. I did give them 5 stars. I know they put me in a slump and I was reading it from Let me give you the exact dates. June 25 to October 13 is how long it took me to read these freaking books. I posted on Threads. 2 full months in a book slump and 8 books later. And I have finally finished the Throne of Glass tandem read. It truly kicked my butt. I started on June 25th, was in a book slump until September 6th, read 8 books until I finally told myself to sit down and freaking finish the tandem read, and I did it before midnight yesterday, which was, I posted this on October 14th. So, I'm proud of myself. I'm not gonna lie. I thought I was gonna hate this a lot more because I know everyone hates Kale and his crew and nobody cares about them, but I didn't think it was that bad, and I also really liked don't Irene. I really liked Irene for some reason. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm literally picturing her as a little Filipino nurse. I'm sorry. That's what I picture her as. I don't know why. But like, you know when you're watching Twilight and like Twilight is blue, New Moon is brown, Eclipse is like what color is Eclipse? I can't even think. But like you know what I mean. Ooh, I am getting sick. I can feel it. But the tone, or actually the coloring, whatever, of the movies is, this book is brown. This book is blue. Yeah, but I still didn't hate this. There were some times where, like this, right? Like, yes, there's a big chunk right here of just Empire of Storms, but I feel like the chunks of tandem read in Tower of Dawn were so much bigger than these chunks. And whenever I would get to Tower of Dawn, it was such a drag. I'm sorry. These chapters were way longer, and these characters I did not care for as much as these characters. And I know these characters are kind of like the newer characters, I guess. I'm not saying I don't care about them, but I cared about them just a little bit less than these ones. And especially because Man in Blackbeak is in this book. And I freaking love her. I know. I forgot which book. But I originally said, like, I wasn't, like, caring about the witches as much. But it was kind of like how I felt about this. These were the people we knew. These were the new people. I wanted to continuously read the new people. Continuously read the old people. The ones that we know and love. And I kind of was just like, I have to get through the old people. And that's, the new people, and that's kind of how I felt in whichever book that was. Was it Queen of Shadows? I can't remember, but because like I wanted to see what was going on with Aelin, Dory, and Kale, and then we would go to Manon or the witches, and I would just be like, no, like I want to know what's going on with it. So that's kind of what was going on here. Is this contained all the people I love? This contained all the new people, and every time I was in this POV, I wanted to be back in this POV. Still, this story is freaking excellent. I cannot believe I am on Kingdom of Ash. This story has literally, Zach said it, he was like, dang, Sarah J. Maas is just taking over your whole year. Yes, she is. Because I showed him how big Kingdom of Ash is. This woman has taken over my whole year. And yes, I'm supposed to be on the second Crescent City book this month. But didn't work out that way. But I will be finishing it next year, obviously. I think Kingdom of Ash will be finished. Throne of Glass will be finished this year. Anyways, obviously I gave them both 5 stars. I'm an easy rater. And also, Throne of Glass it's just a 5-star series. Anyways, all that to say, 5 stars on both ends. Tandem read, difficult. Could I have finished it sooner? Yes. Did I? No. Did I fall into a book slump? Yes. Am I out of it? Yes. Am I excited to read Kingdom of Ash? Yes. Am I excited for this series to finish? No. But anyways, here we are. That was a lot of words. The next book that I read is an e-arc. I got an e-arc of In the Wake of the Wicked by V.B. Lacey. 4.75 stars. I enjoyed it. So basically it is described as like a Wicked and Hunger Games vibe B book. This is my first arc and I absolutely loved it. I thought the premise was interesting, which is why I wanted an arc in the first place. And the world building was incredible. I'm excited to see where Rose and Leo take us in the future, and Knox because he's one of my faves, lol. The magic system and politics were also very unique. I found myself actually gasping out loud at certain twists. As a musical theater girly, I loved the Wicked references. Also, I'm not sure if it's because it took me a while to read, but I wish the trials had more weight to them. I know in the end the trials take a bit of a backseat to what's truly going on in the story, but they almost felt a bit glossed over. The found family in this is also, I don't know if admirable is the right word, but I enjoyed it, and I found myself laughing, crying, and everything in between right along with them. So basically, this book is about Rose. Rose is an orphan who lives with her aunt, uncle, and cousin, and she runs the apothecary. Wait. Rose is apothecary? David? Ew, David. Um, sorry. That's not literally what it's called, but literally Rose runs the apothecary. So anyways, every 10 years, I believe it's every 10 years, they hold the Decemvirate, and I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, I literally have no idea how to pronounce it, where these, oh god, how many? It's like 5 or 6. 5 or 6 words are escaping me. So the empire is divided between these 5 or 6 places. All 5 or 6 of these places send like a champion to fight for their sector, I guess, in the Decemvirate. And basically their magic system was interesting to me because they fight in this like trial, and then whoever wins gets like the highest division of power, and then it trickles down from there. And so like the loser will still get magic, but it's literally like just enough to hold on to their magic. Like it's literally not enough magic, and that's how like all of their people get their magic. But then they have like this super powerful emperor, and we kind of have this rebel group that's going against the emperor and their people, and there's also this disease that's going on throughout the land, and it's like super random, and they don't die, but they fall into this sleep, and nobody knows the curse, nobody knows the cure, nobody knows why it's happening. And basically, yeah. So my issue was, I said in the earlier, is that I wish that the trials held more weight. And again, I don't know if it was because it took me like a week. Hello. Oh yeah, it took me like 10 days to read it. Say hi, Momo. Hi, baby. Look. 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 Oh my god, he looks crazy. Look, look, look. Look, Momo. Look, you're so pretty. Your eyes are so pretty, baby. Aww. I don't know if it's because it took me so long, but it felt like the trials weren't as heavy as I was hoping they were gonna be. Like, I thought it was gonna be like the Hunger Games, like fight to the freaking death, you know? And yes, they did, but like in the overall story, they didn't feel as serious as I felt like they were supposed to be, if that makes sense. I really did appreciate the Wicked references. It isn't, I was thinking it was gonna be like a Wicked-esque retelling, but it was more like references to Wicked. Like there's like a little cafe called the Gershwin and stuff like that. So, and the last book that I read in October is The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, and I gave this book 4.75 stars. Honestly, I was kind of scared in the beginning. I know a lot of people like this book and they recommend it very highly for the witchy season, but I read like 7 pages of it on, let's say, the 25th, right? And then I fell asleep. But it was only 7 pages. Obviously, I can't judge a book off 7 pages. So the next day I was like, oh, like, I don't know where this is gonna go. Anyways, the story follows, okay, is it Mika or Micah? I was reading it as Mika, but I feel like it's Micah. So it follows Mika or Micah and she is a witch. And in their society, the witches are not allowed to interact basically, except for this, I don't know if it's monthly, but they have one meeting where they meet up for like an hour, I think, and they just, bless you, they talk about like spells that they've learned and stuff like that, but like they're not allowed to socialize outside of this like meeting. And basically Micah is posting as a witch on social media, and she's like, nobody's gonna believe I'm a witch, so that I can like form this community, I'm gonna pretend that I'm a witch on social media and no one's gonna think that I'm an actual witch, you know. But basically somebody reaches out and they're like, I know you're a witch, can you please come and help us? We have these 3 girls, they're witches, we have no idea like how to control them because we are not witches. It doesn't go down like that. There's a lot of like tiptoeing around the subject, but that is the gist of it. And so Micah goes to live there, and she basically helps them, and there might be a very handsome man in the midst. I said, this is when I finally actually got into the book, not my original 7 pages, but I said, so far I am loving how whimsical this book is. It makes me wish I wasn't laying in bed reading, and instead, oh, I can't read that far. Lighting some candles, making some coffee, putting a witchy ambiance video on the TV, and reading on the couch with my purple Halloween cat blanket. This is a perfect fall read. I spent the last 10 minutes of the book crying. Yes. So I ended up really enjoying the Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, and I'm definitely going to buy that book eventually. I went to Books Inc. and I was going to buy that, but then I saw the Pumpkin Spice Cafe, which I've been looking for, and I haven't read it yet, and I'm most likely going to read the physical copy while I'm at work on the School Musical, so I was like, I'm going to buy that one instead. So yeah. Those were all of the books that I read in September and October. That is all for this video. I hope you got something out of it. And we will end with this. Say bye-bye, mommy. Bye-bye, mommy. Oh, he smells like poop. He smells like poop. He smells like poop.